Welcome to neutral Morocco for matchday 4 of World Cup qualifying in the African zone. Mozambique take on Cameroon at the Grand Stade de Tanger, which translates as the Big Tangier Stadium. Cameroon's indomitable Lions looking for back-to-back wins over Mozambique to keep the pressure on group leaders Côte d'Ivoire. Well, Côte d'Ivoire, they'll be in action later on, and they are sitting top of Group D, but only just 1 point ahead of Cameroon. Malawi, who Côte d'Ivoire travel to play, are third. Mozambique, rock bottom. They do have a single point. They picked up their first goal of the campaign in the corresponding game against Cameroon. Well, the scene is set for November the 14th. Make a note of that date, because that's when Cameroon entertain Côte d'Ivoire in their 6th and final game of this group. They're on a collision course. Côte d'Ivoire dropped points in their opening game against Mozambique, and that was Mozambique's only point of the campaign so far. Last week, Cameroon bounced back to winning ways after losing to Côte d'Ivoire with a comfortable win over Mozambique, 3-1 at home in Cameroon. And they'll be looking for back-to-back wins for the first time in a year. Now, it's important to stress who wins the group, because it is only the group winner who goes through to the next phase. But that isn't enough to reach the World Cup in Qatar next year. No, indeed. What happens then is the 10 group winners, they advance into a knockout round in March. That's on a home and away basis. So 2 legs, and the winner of those 5 games advance and will represent Africa at next year's World Cup finals in Qatar. That's 2022. And unusually, you probably know already, but it's a unusual World Cup finals in as much as they'll be taking place late in the calendar year, in November and December. Normally, of course, World Cup finals take place in any time between June and July. So every team who qualifies, that is, has to get used to that. Oh, we're just waiting for the teams to come out. They've had their warm-up already. Interesting to see the pitch here in Morocco being very, very well watered. Watch out for that. Could make for a very slippery top surface, putting the onus very much on technique and quality control. Well, here comes the FIFA flag. And that means that the 2 teams won't be long in coming out behind them. And now I'm sure you know the form. Fans who are used to World Cup qualifiers in any zone, not just the African section. But we'll enjoy the 2 national anthems, and following FIFA protocol, you'll hear the visitors' national anthem first. In this case, it'll be Cameroon, and then you'll hear Mozambique's. Now, if you're wondering why this match isn't taking place in Mozambique, that's because FIFA decided that Mozambique's home stadium, the Simpeto National Stadium in Maputo, was unfit to host the remaining Group D games. That's Cameroon today, and then Malawi next month. Well, after Mozambique, I think it's fair to say, stunned Côte d'Ivoire with that goalless home draw, then Mozambique lost at Malawi. Rather comical goal they conceded from an unfortunate back pass. And as you know, as I've just said, in matchday 3, Mozambique were beaten, well beaten, 3-1 by Cameroon. All 3 goals, incidentally, coming from headers. So Mozambique will need to have worked on that in the few days since that last game. As for Cameroon, they kicked off with a hard-fought 2-0 win over Malawi. That was followed by a narrow defeat to Côte d'Ivoire. 2 penalties in that game, 1 for each side. And then they bounced back, winning 3-1 against the team they face today, Mozambique. Choupo-Moting with 2 goals in that game. As I say, both using his head, just in your ways, you might say. Incidentally, these 2 teams also played each other in qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations. Cameroon won both games. It's unusual. Cameroon are the hosts, but they had to qualify to reach the host tournament. That kicks off next January. It is officially the Africa Cup of Nations 2021, but because of the sanitary crisis and the global pandemic, it's been pushed back to next year. It's not a big deal. We're well used to that. In Europe, for example, this summer, they enjoyed the European Championship, so-called Euro 2020, but of course in 2021. And an even bigger sporting occasion than that, the Tokyo Olympics of 2020. Yes, you guessed it. That also took place this summer in 2021. All part of the new normal, I guess, but let's hope things get back to the old normal, at least on the pitch anyway. Well, the substitutes are out already. We're just waiting for the lucky 11 who've made the starting lineup. Mozambique finished bottom of that Africa Cup of Nations qualifying group. And they're also struggling in this World Cup group. I think it's fair to say that the team who've never qualified for the World Cup finals need a miracle to do so this time around. Up against them, well, they've got a team who are really the African standard bearers in terms of World Cup success. Who can forget Cameroon's superb passage to the knockout phase in 1990, led and inspired by the goals of the evergreen Roger Miller. And now, here come the match officials, followed, of course, by the 2 teams. Our match officials today. All come from the Sudan. The main man will be Sabri Mohamed Fadula. That's the time to sit back and enjoy the 2 national anthems.
Maintenant, avec l'hymne national de Cameroun.
Well, I stand corrected. Of course, it's the Cameroon national anthem we just heard in second place. And before that, we led off with Mozambique's national anthem. Mozambique, coached by Horacio Gonçalves. Incidentally, both coaches today hail from Portugal. Mozambique, perhaps not such a surprise. It is a Portuguese-speaking nation, former colony of Portugal. Here are the match officials today. The main man is Sabri Mohamed Fadul. And his three assistants, well, two assistants and the fourth official, all come from Sudan as well, in the eastern part of Africa. And they're keen to take a family photo. Well, why not?
Take the photo. Take the photo. Rashidi. أخرجوا لو ما أقدر أصور. أخرجوا.
Oh, we're just waiting for the Cameroon lineup. The two captains, you see Mandava on the left for Mozambique, and the unmistakable figure of Vincent Aboubakar for Cameroon on the right. Aboubakar it was who got Cameroon's World Cup qualifying campaign up and running with a goal in the opening game against Malawi. Well, there is that starting 11 for Cameroon. They line up in that unusual 3-4-1-2 formation. Eric Choupo-Moting, 2 goals in the last game, plays behind the front two of Toko Ekambi and captain Aboubakar. As ever, Epassi and Boko, a safe pair of hands in goal. And it is the visitors who kick off against Cameroon. Well, I should say they're all visitors. We're playing in neutral Morocco, but it's Mozambique who kick off. Unusual move. That can only have been for territory. Mozambique, I think, playing for pride here against the hotly fancied Cameroon. 3-1, but if they're looking for a glimmer of hope, they did score their first goal against the Cameroon team. Cameroon defense slightly going to sleep in the final 10 minutes. Very much alive here, though. Couldn't control. That was Mumi and Gamalo. Mani takes the penalties for Cameroon. And no fans in the stadium, so we'll be able to pick up on the communication between the two sets of teams. And it is Mozambique. Keen to show Cameroon they're not just making up the numbers. It's a pity. Give and go. Mickey Sonnet. Right idea. His teammate not on the same wavelength. Testing the Cameroon defence early on. It's a nervous start. Both teams just need to get into their passing game. Five Collins doing exactly that. Chupamoting. Well, he wanted movement, needed a runner, got neither. Have to settle for a throw-in. Quickly taken by Five Collins. Surely this will go all the way back to the goalkeeper. And an early touch for Epasi Mboka. Can he keep it in? After the lack of control, he can. And some. Did well. And there is the coach of Mozambique, Gonçalves. Used to be a striker himself. Horacio Gonçalves. And there's Tony Conceição, another Portuguese, in charge of Cameroon. So these two Portuguese tacticians will be pitting their tactical wits against each other. Well, this is commendable. Mozambique playing their way out of the back. That's a decent ball over the top. It's one to chase. Whistle's gone. We've seen that tactic a lot in these World Cup qualifiers in the African section. Nuhutolo, excellent ball. The Choupo-Moting to chase. But he chases in vain. Not protesting. More Route 1 football from Mozambique. Well, after the surprising start they made against Côte d'Ivoire away, they stuttered against Malawi. Don't remember a single chance they had on target in that game. Slightly fortunate not to concede even more than the one goal they did. Hutolo slips up. I did tell you the pitch was being very well watered beforehand. And as this is a neutral venue, you've got to imagine that was with the consent of both teams. Nerves beginning to show there among the Mozambique team. Nanji, Shaquille Nanji, but under pressure, another slip. Makes you wonder if the play, what type of studs the players have got on. But in this sunshine, I imagine the pitch will dry out the deeper we get into the game. Well, got stuck under his feet there. Can the goalkeeper save himself? Save his defender, rather. Of course he can. And now it's Mozambique's turn to press, which they do well. Cameroon changed the direction of their attack. That was ambitious. The captain, Mandava, wants to throw in. Just about did enough to retain the possession. That's a bright start by Mozambique. Ongla. And I think that's about the longest amount of time any single player has had on the ball. Well, the referee finally reacts to that foul. The left wing, Miki Sona, asking for protection. Conceição, quite the poker face. Like to read his facial expression. He held his nerve there. Must have known there was a Cameroon striker behind him. A midfielder, I should say, in the form of Mumi Ngamula. The best of clearances. Just offering temporary respite. As we hit the 10-minute mark, you do get the impression Cameroon just finding their feet. Their passing is sharper and crisper. There's a switch, pretty well done. Excellent control. Defender stood off. That's better. And that's tidy as well. Oh dear, that isn't. Air kick. Concedes possession. Puts his team and captain under pressure. Can Mandava come out? Well, he does well enough. The tackle right on the edge of the penalty area. And he wins a free kick. It's the captain again. Reinildo Mandava. That's a good tackle in the first place. Not convinced he warranted a free kick. Beginning to find their fellow players with ease now. The passes are longer, getting behind the defence into the penalty area. Good cross in, it's loose. And he does well. Avoids conceding the corner kick, does Malambena. Still danger though. Flying header by the same player, the right back, Malambena. On the right-sided central defender, I should say. That's his first intervention, saving the corner. Slightly misleading, slow motion replay, but that's because there was another action for Cameroon afterwards, which led to this corner. Not the best delivery. Will he get a second bite of the cherry? Mumi Ngamalo, this man here, normally very good at set pieces. As I said, takes the penalties for Cameroon. Got the goal against Côte d'Ivoire. Just in the nick of time. And that too is good incisive play by Mumi Ngamalo. It's an unusual formation, as I said. Cameroon's 3-4-1-2. It can seem top-heavy sometimes. Oh, wow. Mozambique clean through. Golden opportunity for De Souza. Unselfishly lays it off. Should have gone for goal. Well, I don't think they'll get too many chances like that. Going by their recent form. Golden opportunity. Was he paying too much respect to Cameroon, maybe? Fidel De Souza. Or did he just get dizzy being so far forward? More naturally a right back, De Souza. You can see him there, back in position. Chance for Cameroon. 2 against 3. Taking his time. Too much time, possibly. Well held up. That's Abubakar, good ball in. Easy collect for the goalkeeper. Well, that was a good chance. More than half a chance there. There's a switch diagonal pass. Thought about chesting it. Maybe you should have. Mickey Son, switch wings. Cameroon just get on with it. They get away with that. Well, as it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, the referee lets it go. Had he made contact, might have been a different story. Appeals for a penalty. Referee not buying it. A little bit casual. No matter. There's no press, no challenge from the opposition. Chance now though for Mozambique. They got their goal against Cameroon from a similar situation. It was further forward. It was a mistake by Mukudi, if memory serves. That's the flashpoint again, nothing in that. As I said, Cameroon were in the same qualifying group for the Africa Cup of Nations as Mozambique. They beat them 4-1 in Cameroon and 2-0 away. Cameroon went on to win the group. Mozambique were bottom. Just for the record, Cape Verde also qualified. Rwanda finished in third and they missed that. The first two went on. 24 teams will compete in next January's Africa Cup of Nations. Well, they'll be relatively pleased with the coach, Gonçalves. Be more pleased now if they get this in the back of the net, just wide of the post. But they're creating chances on Mozambique. No wonder this man, Ngadjui, looks nervous. Nicky Son proving a handful. Look at D'Souza as well. Offering support. It'll be a corner kick. To the Mambas. Malambena. Central defender's gone up for it. Mozambique got there first. Tauzini couldn't direct the head up. It's a decent delivery by Geni Katamo. He's the man who scored against Cameroon. Passion Boca taking his time. So far so good. He's trying to draw the Mozambique midfield and defence of the pitch. That's well won. Good battling by the captain. And they're over the halfway line. The counter-attack is on. Telegraphed though by Katamo. Here's another slip. Pitch is still wet. Well one back. Delicate chip. It might yet fall. Excellent interception. Crucial. Good technique with the outside of his right boot. With a bit of space opening up. Poor control by Toko Ekambi, the man who plays his football for Olympique Lyonnais in France. It's the team from the second city, Lyon. Now this man, Gonçalves, Conceição. I wonder what language he speaks to his Cameroon charges. English, perhaps, the lingua franca. Referee lets that one go. It seems to be contact. Oh, lovely Cruyff turn. Great space and flashes wide of the post. Brilliant play. Vincent Aboubakar showing his chops. Wonderful piece of skill. Mozambique player on the ground. Aboubakar, look at this. Drops his left shoulder. Lovely pullback. Goes for goal. And that's a save, you know. He got a hand to that, did Silouan. Should be a corner kick. And indeed it is. Well, that could well have been a goal. On target. If not for a fine save by Silouan. Mumiungamalo floats the corner in. (50-50). It was vital that Cameroon won that. Nuhutolo not best pleased with the pass by his teammate. We're halfway through these opening 45 minutes. Cameroon have the upper hand. They're seeing a lot more of the ball, that's for sure. Yet to make the breakthrough. But that chance we just saw by the captain, Aboubakar, the best of the game so far. Bundled over, free kick. Cameroon protest. This is a good field position for Mozambique. Antonio, the man who was appended. The lack of cutting edge. They have done at any rate in this World Cup qualifying group so far. The voice you hear is coming from this man, Cameroon's goalkeeper, marshalling his defence, setting the wall. I wonder how many players will be in it. It's more of a line than a wall. That's because well, I was going to say the free kick will be taken from some distance out. It is, but there's still a wall, as you can see. Cameroon covering both options, a direct shot or a floated free kick. Man over the ball. Kenny Katamo lurking behind him. Miki-son Katamo it is. Need to do better. Ricochets off the base of the wall. He was trying to cheekily slip it under. Would have needed a lot of power from that distance. He was over 30 meters out. Well, there is a considerable wind here today in Tangier. It is a port, after all. and exposed to the winds because of that. Nicely headed down, perfectly cushioned header. Looking for a 1-2. Not enough on the return. Mandava. Not what he wanted. Looked out of play. Referee's assistant agrees. Throw in Cameroon. Well, the game yet to spark into life. It's a great footballing cliche, but game needs a goal. And the neutrals, from their point of view, I guess they don't mind who it's from. But most neutrals follow the underdogs, which in that case means Mozambique. Cameroon substitutes warming up, and they do have firepower on the bench, make no mistake. All the way back to the goalkeeper. And when you're lacking inspiration, why not? Chance to reset, start from scratch. Talking of firepower on the bench, names which spring to mind: Stefan Bahoken, Christian Mugang Basogog, Lambert Gemiaraina. Maybe they won't need them if this comes off. It doesn't. Well played before he slipped. Let the ball run for him, did Shakil Nanji. Heavy touch. Way too casual. Looks tired, does Toko Ikambe. Or rather, that was a tired piece of control. And the game's rather flat. Not just the football on the pitch, but even the communication from both teams, both sets of players. Ball watching. And he made a foul. Referee waves the advantage. Nice move. A little bit too much on it. Offside. Correct decision. But watch out for Geni Katamo. Clever player. It was Nicky Son who had made the final run, picked out by Katamo. Well in. What they lack in skill, Mozambique are more than making up for in efforts and industry. A slice of lady luck there. Can he keep it in? No.
Faso.
"30 minutes gone. Now this game is deadlocked, 0-0. And whilst the indomitable Lions are enjoying the lion's share of possession, they haven't had that many clear-cut chances. That moment of magic by Vincent Aboubakar with the turn that's known as the Johan Cruyff turn, named after the Dutch legend. Abubakar, that time, more prosaic move. And a chance for Osman Boss. Antonio takes his time, cuts inside. Well, they're on the back foot there, needs a space. Pass to the left, was calling out for. Being called out for, I should say. Decent delivery in. Burst of speed, trying to get round the defence is Getamo. And I can't help but think that speed and playing sharp, short passes around the penalty area is a better option than trying to outjump the three central defenders of Cameroon. Without resorting to cliches, Cameroon are a strong physical side. They are very, but very good in the air. Remember, all three goals they scored in the game a few days ago against Mozambique came from headers. 2 for Eric Choupo-Moting. By the way, that takes his tally to 17 goals for his country. Very impressive. The other goal coming from Ekambi. Well, the good news for Mozambique is that they're yet to concede. Statement of the obvious, I know, but if you bear in mind, when they played away in Malawi, they conceded a goal on just 10 minutes. And of course, the longer the game goes on, the more frustrated the favourites Cameroon will get. Pressure well and truly on their shoulders, knowing that Côte d'Ivoire are up after this game against the other team in the group, Malawi. Nicely done. Can he get there? He can. Play on. Good decision by the referee. Clear advantage. And that's a great tackle. The player is still down though. That's great sportsmanship. I was about to say that's the only problem with playing the advantage after a strong foul, that the player, the victim if you like, doesn't receive immediate attention. And that's the tackle in question. Oh, scythe down, wasn't he? Yeni Getamo. Well, whilst Getamo gets attention, chance for Coach Gonçalves to do a bit of tweaking and fine-tuning amongst his men. Likewise, Tony Conceição for Cameroon. And that wind continues to make itself felt here in Tangier. Hasn't unduly affected the quality of play. Not yet, anyway. 10 minutes till half-time. Well, a round of applause from Cameroon after the unusual delay by Mozambique. Not quite sure what that was about. A reluctance to give the ball back? Surely not. An imaginative pass by Cameroon. That's better. Ball into space, over the top of the defender. Zambaranguisa again, his pass finding its target, pulls the trigger. That was ambitious. Toko Ekambi scored in that last game against Mozambique. Silouan, the Mozambique goalkeeper, urging his team forward. And I think that is down to the wind. Doesn't want to take any chances. I don't think that changes much, but you do see the effect of that wind. At the third time of asking, goal kick is taken. Nicely done by the Mambas. Lovely pirouette by Mumi Ungamalo. And this goalkeeper, not in a hurry at all, is Silouan. Hernan Silouan, happy to have that clock count itself down. The draw would be a good result today for Mozambique. Studs up against Tupamuting. Zambaranguisa. And again does well. Arguably being the standout player for Cameroon in that midfield. Long ball, trying to get behind the defence. Once again, goalkeeper Silouan, happy to see it run out of play. As I said, Cameroon have the best record of any African nation in World Cup finals. They've reached 7. Missed out last time though, in Russia. Their last appearance was in Brazil. As I said, the standout memory for Cameroon fans, especially of a certain age, is Italia 1990. First up, they've got to qualify, and that is not a foregone conclusion. There's the non-small matter of that game, 6th game against Côte d'Ivoire. They need to win here, though. Good header, and there's a flick. Well, Aboubakar took it away from the goal. It was Toko Ekambi with the initial shot. Patient build-up. Toko Ekambi with a header, I should say. Aboubakar effectively acting as a defender for Mozambique. Goal kick to Mozambique. You knew what he was trying to do. Sometimes a flick can just wrong foot a goalkeeper, throw him off the centre of a shot. Not that time. Into the final 5 minutes, can he keep it in? It'd be good job if he can, and he does. Well played, very fast. Well, that's the fullback, de Souza Fidel, who now has to get back into position, as it is. Mozambique are finishing the half with a flourish. Hasn't been the most spectacular 45 minutes you'll ever see, but it's been relatively clean. Not too many stoppages. This one, previous one, when Geni Katama was fouled. And that's not malicious, you have to say, against Mumiongamala. Cameroon. Can they give themselves a boost with a goal before half-time? Well, the body language is negative from Toko Ekambi. Well, having said that there haven't been too many stoppages, now they're coming thick and fast. So expect at least a couple of minutes of additional time at the end of the regulation 45. Choupo-Moting spreads the ball wide. It's a pedestrian build-up by the indomitable Lions. The one positive Cameroon could take from the half is that they've retained the ball and possession pretty well. Quickly taken, that's good. Abubakar lifts the ball into the penalty area. And a chance of a counter now, needs support, and he's shown way too much of that. That's a foul, right in front of the referee. Technical foul, for which often yellow cards are shown. Not that time. It's a foul yet again. Mukudi this time. Just 1 minute of additional time. And that could be good news for Cameroon. I think they need the break just to hear some pearls of wisdom from their coach, Conceição. They might yet finish with a flourish here, though that's an excellent through ball and a great interception. Well played, Simbine, the midfielder, back in defence. This should well be the last chance of the half. It'll be for Cameroon. But can they get the ball where it matters? Choupo-Moting, lovely turn. Needs support, pulls the trigger. Rebounds off Tazene. 50-50 aerial combat won by the Napoli player Zambo Anguissa. Good delivery in. It's a corner kick, but will we have time for it? It would appear so. Well, the big defenders, Tolo, Mukudi, and Gado Ngadwi, come up for this corner kick. They're formidable in the air, Cameroon. It's a poorly delivered corner, though. And that is the half-time whistle. No goals here, then, in Tangiers, in neutral Morocco, for this World Cup qualifier. Match day 4 between Mozambique and Cameroon. It's been, well, an underwhelming half of football, to be brutally honest. Neither team yet to find their feet, and you've got to say that suits Mozambique more than Cameroon. They need the half-time pep talk from their coach, Tony Conceição. Please join us in just under 15 minutes' time.
Caralho. 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 Novamente.
Welcome back to this World Cup qualifying game in the African zone between Cameroon and Mozambique. Now, Mozambique are supposed to be playing at home, but this game is being played in Morocco, in Tangier to be exact. And that's because the home stadium of Mozambique is no longer considered fit for purpose, according to the more strict rules introduced by FIFA. And I say no longer because the first game of the qualifying group for Mozambique was actually played at home. Since then, FIFA have tightened the rules and regulations. And I should say that what perhaps explains Cameroon's lackluster performance in the first half is that, would you believe, their flight only arrived in Morocco last night at 3:30 in the morning. And as a result, they're out of sync and out of kilter. They arrived at 3:30. They had their pre-match meal at 11 o'clock. And now they're thrust into action. And the reason the flight was delayed, not just once, but twice, was because of cases of COVID amongst the cabin crew. So nothing to do with Cameroon. And this perhaps explains why we're seeing a double substitution for Cameroon. In fact, there were 3 substitutes lining up a few moments ago. 2 in our picture. And the first to come on is the number 6, and he'll be followed by number 11. I can tell you. So Christian Bassogog is on, as is James Edward Lea Siliki. Cameroon kick off the second half. Up against Mozambique. Mozambique struggling, rock bottom of this World Cup qualifying group. Straight away on the attack. Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting substituted. Had a quiet half, it has to be said, the Bayern Munich striker. Score of 3 goals in the group so far for the indomitable Lions. There's the man who's replaced him. Yanlefta Neyu Nupa. Toko Ekambi has been replaced by Siliki. So let's see what this young man and the other 2 substitutes can do in the coming 45 minutes. They have to defend here, though. Aerial tennis, that's a great control. Chance for Mozambique. Cuts back, appeals for a penalty, dismissed by the referee. Still with Mozambique. Lovely skill. Showed too much of it, though. Thought the ball had gone out of play. It hasn't. The counter-attack is on. 3 against 5, good ball in. That'll be taken comfortably by the goalkeeper, Siluane. End-to-end stuff at the start of the second half. Let's hope that's a sign of things to come in these 45 minutes. Chances at both ends. Well, here's that earlier chance. First for Mozambique. Wild shot in the end. Coming from Fidel de Souza. He appeals for a handball straight away. Nicely set up, though, by Guinea-Bissau. Remember the man who scored against Cameroon in the previous game. Antonio's got a problem here. Flat out. Oh, there really isn't much in that. Well, you understand why he's protesting. Well, not protesting, but protesting his innocence, I should say. Makudi. Oh, ball's in the back of the net. Won't count, though. At least we've seen the net bulge. Hasn't happened so far this game. Well, after the excitement of end-to-end chances for both sides, looks like the game settling back down into the same rhythm as the first half. Let's hope that changes. Again, but from Cameroon's point of view, you understand having their travel plans disrupted by the chronic delays to their flight from Cameroon, from Douala, I believe, makes it very, but very hard to prepare for a game. It's a test of their professionalism. Heavy touch by Makudi, a man born in Paris, just outside Paris. Incidentally, he's born in the same place as a certain Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe got the winning goal for France in yesterday's Nations Cup. France beating Spain 2-1. Decent ball in, easy take, no challenge on Silo on the goalkeeper for Cameroon, Mbassi Mboka. Cameroon will look to break the deadlock, but without their goal scorers on the first game against Mozambique. Toko Ekambi and Choupo-Moting. Choupo-Moting, pity we can't see him. Always exciting to watch and a threat in the air. A very nice man as well. Met him when he was still playing in the Bundesliga at Mainz on the eve of a game against Borussia Dortmund. Just for the record, the two coaches from that game were a certain Thomas Tuchel and Jurgen Klopp. Both have since gone on to greater things, as indeed has Eric Choupo-Moting. The two coaches went on to win the Champions League. And that's something that Choupo-Moting is yet to do. He was in the Paris Saint-Germain squad that lost to Bayern Munich a couple of seasons ago. That was before joining Bayern Munich. So who knows, maybe this season. Correct decision. Not a dirty tackle on Malambena, as his expression suggests. Unusual clearance. Well, they're playing the ball a lot more on the ground, Mozambique, than Cameroon. Nice give and go. One pass. Space had opened up on the left. Just hadn't seen it. Got away with that, not sure he intended it. That's much better. Cross-field pass, straight to his feet. The second pass, well, the less said about that, the better. Look at that. Pass of the game so far. Diagonal, straight to his feet. Holds his head in his hands. Knew he should have done better. Another strong burst. They're beginning to believe here, Mozambique. That's the captain, trying to lead by example, Renilda Mandava. Gonçalves wears his heart on his sleeve. Animated presence in his technical zone. Muscular challenge by the captain, Mandava. Strange to see Cameroon resort to the long ball game. Should be easy for the goalkeeper. He decided to kick it though, did Ipasi and Boca. Sign of nerves or fatigue. Just didn't want to take the chance. I think he would have been all right though. I think the challenge now for Cameroon is game management. And preparing another substitution. About to come on, Stefan Bohoken. The man coming off will be the captain, Vincent Aboubakar. He's passed on the captain's armband already. But to who? That's the question. Aboubakar, the man who had the best chance of the first half, is up the pitch. Cameroon have rotated their front three. Desperate needs requires desperate measures. They have to defend this free kick. Mikisone will take. Once the referee gives him the green light. Not the best of flights. That is a good shot. Brilliant effort. Geni Katamo. He really is Mozambique's danger man. Good stop by the goalkeeper, Ipasi and Boca. But the flag's up. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Free kick from Mikisone. Fell nicely. Excellent shot. Didn't think twice, and a good reflex save by the goalkeeper. Dogged defending in midfield by Mozambique. They sense that Cameroon aren't playing their best ever game. Substitute Bahoken. First touch of the ball. And again, trying to get behind the defence. Plays his football in France at Angers. Angers in the Loire Valley. And Dava put in a good shift for his team. Did look a bit tired there. That was a tired ball out. All the way back to the goalkeeper. Playing with fire there. At one point, I thought he was about to backtrack into his own penalty area. Just as well he didn't do that. Ball over the top. Nice backspin, forced nicely. Didn't make a clean contact though, Antonio. Pity for him in Mozambique. And he knows it. Coming up to the hour mark. In Cameroon. Oh no, we heard. Oh yes, unfortunately for Cameroon. Way too much on that. He was a willing runner, Mumi Ngamala. Man who plays his football in Switzerland for Young Boys of Bern. Does well, rise the tackle. That's the second time they've done that in this half. A bit of rush of blood to the head, that time by the defensive midfielder, Nanga. I just wonder, do Mozambique, the Mambas, smell blood? They must realize this is a different type of Cameroon performance than the one they slumped 2-1 to just a few days ago. Look at this. Two Mozambique plays forward into the penalty area. Golden opportunity. The comeback. Excellent interception. Got to be a corner kick. Maybe the best chance of the game. Ball over the top. Look how flat the Cameroon back three is. Bearing down on goal is Antonio. Unselfishly cuts back. Maybe, just maybe, he should have gone for goal himself and been more selfish. It's a decent delivery. Cameroon clear, and that's where they're strong. Got to go back to the goalkeeper, you would have thought. That's what he did think.
Il est parti, il est parti.
Oh yes, a bit of razzle-dazzle from the Mambas. The Mamba Magic. Asagog. Asagog was voted best player of the Africa Cup of Nations in 2017. That's an easy take. And you know what? I think that's the first chance Cameroon have had in the second half. Siliki, the substitute, with it. And he created it himself. Got a bit lucky with the deflection. Shot easy for Siloane. But can they build on that, Cameroon? Might offer a glimmer of hope. Lovely skills. Just enough. Stuck his right boot out. So the Cameroon defence holding firm, just about. The captain, Mandava. Hopeful ball. Strangely, Geni Katamo backed off. It's one or the other. If you make your move, you've got to commit to the challenge. Maybe you thought goalkeepers, if they don't always win those aerial challenges, they get the referee's decision if there's an infringement and they go down easily, which is often the case. Well played. Cameroon favouring their right wing. Flag stays down. Strong, very strong in the challenge was Ngadjui. Plays his football in Belgium for Ghent. 25 minutes left on the clock. Well, Mozambique have sprung one surprise already, this group, holding Côte d'Ivoire to a 0-0 draw in their opening game. Can they do it again? It's the same scoreline. Cameroon ranked 54th in the world by FIFA. Well, we're seeing that again in case it was handball. We've seen them given. It's off the top part of the arm. Tony Conceição, 59-year-old. Cameroon's the first country he's been in charge of. Before that, he was in Romania, at Cluj. In fact, he's been with them 3 times. Also coached in Cyprus, Greece, Portugal, his native country, and Saudi Arabia. Good strong run. Well charged down. I'm beginning to sense what's at stake there, Cameroon. Obviously they know already, but the clock's ticking down. And of course, the team who stand to benefit most if the scoreline stays the same are Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire, unbeaten, but just 1 point above Cameroon in the standings. Poor corner kick. Well, that was so lightweight of a delivery. I think he had time to control that. That was Shakil Nonji. He put the ball out for the corner. Surely he's got to vary it this time. Problem with the floated free kick. It's got more height on it that time. Punch clear, and there's the goal. 1-0 to Cameroon from the set piece, and again from a header. And they've got Ngadjui to thank for the goal. Well, lucky for Cameroon, the corner, the second corner, was a much better delivery. Much more height on it. Goalkeeper Silouan could only manage a weakish punch. And the man who's got the captain's armband now makes the difference. There he is, lurking outside the 6-yard box. Unmarked, good header. Well, it's cruel on Mozambique. But a clinical finish by Cameroon gives them the lead. Second goal for him, Ngajwi, in this qualifying group. He also scored with a header against Malawi in Cameroon's opening group game. And he will feel a lot more relieved and happy, the coach, Tony Conceição. And now their tails are up after that goal. Cameroon on the attack again. What have Mozambique got left in the tank? Will that goal knock the stuffing out of them completely? He's a substitute, Bahukin. (50-50). First one was won by Mozambique, the second by the Lions, living up to their nickname, the Indomitable Lions. Well, they showed their character because they were looking tired. That's the hallmark. Usual interception by the captain, Mandava, sitting on the ball. Siliki, the substitute, likes to get it onto his left foot. That's a good call. Good call between Tauzene and his goalkeeper, Silouane. 20 minutes left for Mozambique to take something from the game. Does well. Gets goal side. Took a deflection. Referee had a good view of that. And as soon as any player raises his arm, as Shakil Nanji did there, that was the unusual interception by Mandava. Good timing though. Got to give him that. It's the goalmouth scramble. Like I said, good communication between goalkeeper and centre-back. And he looks flustered now, doesn't he? Enrique Gonçalves knows his team were in a very good position. 0-0. Dominating the game, certainly having the more clear-cut chances. That's just 50-50. Siliki getting irate. Mind you, he's got the free kick. The dead ball specialist, Mumyungamala. The man whose corner kick led to the only goal of the game will take. Floats it in. Too close to the goalkeeper. This time, Silouane isn't hanging around. Looking for Antonio. Well, kept in play. At least that's what I thought. So did he, and the rest of his teammates. Well, the referee's word is final. Judge for yourselves. So against the odds. Chance for Mozambique, and they make their first substitution off the game. Off goes their central defender, Malambana, I should say. On comes Pachoyo King. Clear foul. And the captain, Mandava, wins a free kick. Get a substitution. Victor Jr. on for Antonio. Can they capitalize on the free kick? Mikisone, his delivery's been good so far, the left wingers. Look at that focus. Decent delivery to the far post. It was the captain who got there first. Mandava, whistle's gone. Good delivery. Well, the final defender for Cameroon, Mumi Mamelou, doing a good job. Decent ball in, easy take. Been pretty good under the high ball as the Cameroon goalkeeper, Repassi Mboka. Basagog. Look, Sharps is coming on. There's Basagog. Here he is. Plays his football in China at Shanghai Shenhua. As I said, best player in the Africa Cup of Nations of 2017. I said before the game, Cameroon were strong favourites, but still some 15 minutes left. Anything can happen. Last night, who would have thought Mauritania would hold top of the table Tunisia to a goalless draw in Group B? It's a funny old game, a beautiful game of football. And Mozambique haven't thrown in the towel, far from it. Mozambique have to defend. Basagog slowing the pace of the attack down there. Cameroon decide to sit on their lead and go backwards before moving forwards. And you just knew that was going to go back to the goalkeeper. Cameroon, would you believe? Going for back-to-back victories for the first time in a year, and this could be the icing on the cake. Good interception. Stuck one of his long legs out to deny the substitute, Bahoken. Good play. Good early ball. That was the difference. Good intelligent play by Bahoken. Cameroon's tails are up since the goal. Preparing another substitute. So coming off, Mumi Ngamalo, the dead ball specialist. He'll be replaced by Pierre Koundé Malong. Had a very good game against Malawi in the opener. That looked like a foul, but the referee waved play on. Didn't matter anyway. Way off target. Excellent first touch. Second one wasn't too bad either. Cameroon's defensive block well and truly in place. That's a great pass though, splits the defense. That'll be a corner kick. That ball went out of play. That's what Mozambique are claiming. Nangi stays down. Took a kick to the back of the calf. Well, it was D'Souza, the fullback. Clumsy challenge. Here it is again. Oh, no corner kick. The man making the challenge gets away with it. The left back, Nuhutolo. And the good news is that D'Souza's recovered. Tidy burst of speed. Good close control. That's a foul. Now that looked like a blatant shoulder barge. Obstruction. Referee didn't see it. Koundé Malong, substitute, excellent pass. Superb vision. 3 against 3. Not sure whether that was a cross or a shot. Basogog had his pocket picked. The counter-attack is on. Mandava. Well, I think Mozambique needed that. Just to relieve the pressure. Ball over the top. The substitute King. Cuts inside, pulls the trigger. That's a good save. Nasty bounce for Repassi Mboka. He read it well. Tracked it like a hawk. We're into the final 10 minutes. But a lot of pace and power behind the shot. See why it's been brought on. Well, if they're going down, they're going to go down fighting. Here's the other substitute, Junior. Stinging the palms of the goalkeeper, Repassi Mboka. Well, the Cameroon goaltender being kept very, very busy. Well, there's that shoulder barge earlier. Perhaps not deliberate, but nonetheless, Ngadjwi did get in the way, the man who scored the goal. They're determined to get an equaliser in Mozambique. Cameroon concede the throw-in. Rather easily, it has to be said. Another substitution. Off comes Nangi, replaced by Estevanovella. And Alexandra will replace Mikisone. Double substitution for Mozambique. Last throw of the dice. Yeah, that was clumsy by De Souza. Nangi, that's his last contribution to the game. Substitute for Cameroon, decent delivery. Well, he needed too many touches. Did Bahoken. 5 minutes left, 5 minutes for Mozambique to come into the game to snatch a point. 5 minutes for Cameroon to hold on to their slender lead. And they need to, because if they don't, Côte d'Ivoire will feel inspired against rock bottom Malawi. All over the top. Captain cleverly goes to ground under pressure. Faso trying to get in his face. The big captain's too experienced for that. He's a substitute king. That's a good cutback. Golden opportunity. Brilliant stop. Absolutely brilliant interception by the man who scored the only goal of the game. Ngadjwi spares Cameroon's blushes at the back. And he takes the plaudits from his goalkeeper. Terrific play. Horacio Gonçalves knows that was a golden chance. Taking his time here, the goalkeeper. Got to be careful. Three minutes left, and still Mozambique throw the kitchen sink at Cameroon. That's a foul, clumsy foul as well, and that's unsporting behaviour by Bahoken. Ananga needs treatment. Well, he needs defence. Bahoken only had eyes for the ball. Really stood on the ball. Did Nanga. That's brave. Yeah, he put his defender under pressure there. That's a bad play by the goalkeeper, Silouan. Just when Mozambique need to get the ball down the Cameroon end. Puts pressure on his central defender. Forces him into the mistake. A mistake by Cameroon. Gives possession back to Mozambique on a long throw. The fouls are coming thick and fast as Cameroon try to interrupt Mozambique's counter-attacking rhythm. Long ball. Needs must. He's the goal scorer. Well, that was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I thought. Bahakan. Fair to say he's got a physical presence, but not shy about throwing his weight around. In his defence, the first arm raised was by the Mozambique player. So fair's fair. Simbine penalised. Conceição will be a lot happier than he was this time in the first half. 3 minutes of additional time. It's a lifeline for Mozambique. If the scoreline stays the same, Cameroon will leapfrog Côte d'Ivoire at the top of this Group D. The Côte d'Ivoire will be in action later on today against Malawi. Long ball. Last throw of the dice coming from Mozambique. Have the Mambas got any bite left in them in these 3 minutes of stoppage time? He's penalised, but that man, Mukudi, is the man who kept Cameroon in front in this game. All eyes on the referee. 90 seconds left. Kenny Katamo floats in the free kick, it's deep. Straight into the hands, the grateful hands of Ipasi Mboka. He collapses to the ground. Goalkeeper's privilege. He'll take his time. Nicely floated in. Kunde Malong done well since he's come on. We're into the final minute of this match. Mozambique need to get a move on. They need to get the ball up the other half. So their goalkeeper Silouan does. Or bouncing awkwardly. Cameroon boot the ball over the halfway line and out of play. Cameroon get the ball back. Could this be the icing on the cake from Kunde Malong? Shot blocked. That's a great thing about watching African teams. They never take the ball into the corner. Play always goes on, as it had there. That's a foul. Would you believe? first yellow card of the game comes right at the end, deep into stoppage time. And it goes to the substitute, Neyu Nupa, for Cameroon. Cynical foul, possibly retaliation for the first foul not being fouled against his teammate. Last chance saloon. Ball bounces. And that is the final whistle. Referee blows up, and Cameroon have held on. 1-0 they win, but boy, oh boy, it was a hard-fought victory. Agony for Mozambique, ecstasy for Cameroon. That man, Michael Ngajwi, with the only goal of the game, his second of the campaign, and it's enough to give Cameroon 3 points and take them to the top of the group. The situation leading up to the game, not the best preparations for the indomitable Lions. Their flight was delayed twice from Douala. They only arrived in the middle of the night, 3:30 in the morning, in fact. But they showed their character and determination. Top marks to the coach, Tony Conceição. He rotated the squad very well. Excellent game management. And now, Cameroon have thrown down the gauntlet to Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire beat Cameroon, remember, on match day 2. And everything is heading towards that crunch match. Make a date in your diaries. November the 14th, Cameroon will host Côte d'Ivoire. And that could well be a sudden death shootout. The winner takes all. And by that, I mean the winner gets a golden ticket into the knockout round of qualifying. The final 10. Well, relief here, as well as satisfaction for a job well done. At one point, it was looking very tricky for the indomitable Lions, but they weathered the storm and they came through it. We're just waiting to give you confirmation of the standings after this first game. That's ahead of the Côte d'Ivoire-Malawi game later on. And there you have it. Cameroon's third victory leaps them over Côte d'Ivoire. They have 2 points advantage. Malawi on 3. Mozambique rock bottom with 1 point. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the Group D game with me, Tony Jeffers. Good night.